So I am here in Koh Samui, Thailand with Jason Yeager, content creator, viral sensation with his accounts That European Kid and My Tech CEO. You've probably seen him in some of his videos on Instagram, TikTok, and more recently with the My Tech CEO on Twitter. Here to sit and talk a little bit about content, marketing, distribution, and the attention economy. So anyways, let's chat a little bit about like who you are and go from there.
I started actually as a founder. I started building a couple different companies ever since I was in high school. The first one was like an agri-tech startup. And these were like good companies. They weren't like total failures. Like we scaled them a bit, like we were getting some traction, but it was very clear to me from the first tech company I ran, I don't think of myself as a super cracked like founder.
Right.
And especially not technical in any sense. So I was experimenting, especially like in my early 20s, and also teenage year. I was just experimenting like countless different things. And I felt like the moment I started creating content, that had the biggest impact in my life compared to any other project I was doing. And so the whole reason I started doing content was just because like, hey, my philosophy is you should stick to what you think you are inherently really good at and have a superior advantage over other people. And content for me just seemed like that path.
Yeah, so now that you've been doing this a while, like you've seen pretty incredible growth. Like you've unlocked some viral videos. I think I saw you recently, you hit 100 million views. How has this sort of shaped your sort of thoughts around marketing, distribution, attention economy, and also like monetization? You know, like obviously getting everybody's attention is super important.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Like, and I'm also very happy with the direction like the world is going. I think people are starting to realize the importance of content. Like I started doing content about two and a half years ago with my twin brother. And when we started, like, I think people like looked at our account and they're like, you know, what the hell are you doing? Like, to like, okay, yes, you're generating like millions of views, but what does that really mean?
Right.
But like nowadays people are like, okay, oh shit, like distribution has an advantage. So people are understanding of it. But yeah, no, I think distribution is so powerful. It's crazy like what, you know, one cell phone can do and like how many millions of people can see something. And, you know, if you have a product, like how you can leverage this phone alone to like literally get like the craziest brand exposure you could ever ask for just from one cell phone.
And I saw you making a video yesterday actually, and you have a cracked cell phone, literally folks, this thing is like cracked wide open. He's got a little plug-in for a Rode microphone.
A raw dog it.
He's raw dogging the phone, and that's literally it. And he's getting millions and millions of views on these videos.
This little camera right here. This little camera has filled millions of views.
That's
a bit of a flex. Anyways,
no, it is. But like the crazy part is like obviously you're doing the viral videos. Like you have some characters. They're pretty like, I mean, European Kid is pretty cringe. I like My Tech CEO.
Yeah. That's mainly my brother does.
But I think maybe a lot of people don't actually fully understand that while you're doing viral videos, there's also monetization options here. Like the videos themselves just draw people's eyes.
Yeah.
But like from there, you can take it other places and put attention on your products themselves. And I think this is a thing that a lot of people in Web3 need to understand. So do you have any sort of insights around this?
Yeah, I think like, you know, content is like a vehicle towards doing so much. Whether that's like, you know, giving your product more traffic or building your own personal brand. Like what's cool is like I have a pretty good portfolio of funny videos, and like anytime I want to reach out to like a tech CEO, like chances are like if they're on Twitter and they're like a power user, like it probably run across like maybe 7% chance they've run across my video. So like that immediately is like a way to intro myself. Like my point is like there's so many ways you can creatively use content to achieve certain goals, whether that's bringing more users, building a brand, being better at outreach. Like I can't tell you, like if I was going back in time and starting a recruiting agency, I would continue to do what I do right now and leverage the content, the funny content that I'm putting out to be able to reach out to more cracked people that I could then recruit.
Yeah, so like doing the content and getting the visibility opened up opportunities just because like people like know who you are, so they're like, okay, I've seen this guy, like I can get involved with that.
Exactly, like it gets your foot in the door, because like before I was irrelevant, and now I can like hit up like CEOs of like billion-dollar companies, and I should still theoretically be irrelevant, but I have some funny content that they've laughed at.
Yeah.
And so they're just like, oh, I've seen your content, and then it starts a conversation. So it's like also like a networking tool, I guess you could say. Like it's pretty valuable to like reach people.
It was funny, like we just had Salon Breakpoint, and I was seeing there was this founder making something called MetaDAO. It's called Futurarchy, and he wore a mask and a cape, had a voice distorter because he's completely anonymous. And I saw him tweet. He was like, "I get marketing now." He's like, because the amount of inbounds of because his video of him being masked
Really?
went viral. There were some people who thought it was cringe. There were some people that thought it was
Interesting.
whatever. And then he started getting inbounds, and like devs don't inherently understand like why would I do marketing? If I build the tech, they'll come.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
he did that character, which was not for the sake of character, but it just ended up becoming a thing that was getting shared. And all of a sudden now people were like, what is this? MetaDAO? Now they know about its project is. And like to see his tweet recognizing that, I was like, the devs are evolving. They're starting to realize that just building a thing is not necessarily going to get you what you need, and content and marketing just puts eyes on you, and then people can explore it later.
Totally. And like I think now we're like seeing like more and more the importance of like organic too. Like, you know, what kind of content you're putting out is really, really important. Like you have different like trends in the past. Like, you know, companies, there was like digital paid advertising. Sorry. You'd put a lot of paid advertising on like socials, and that was like a really big thing in the past. But now we're seeing the importance of like every single person should have some form of content they're putting out. It can be anything, honestly, because you want to get your brand out there. You want to get yourself out there. The truth is like most content, the content that I do is extremely hard to replicate because it's just true to me. And even like the European kid, like I grew up in Belgium, and like in Belgium, I learned French. So naturally I can put on a French accent whenever I want. And then like I can combine that with my experience of going to like elite private schools and like see what rich kids are like. It's like if someone tries to replicate the European kid, they're like not thinking creatively about like what their unique skills are. Like it's up to you to experiment and find your own unique, like your own rhythm and your own content style. Yeah.
Somebody could create your character a million times over and never do as well as you did.
Yeah, because like I think the thing that they should be thinking about is like, okay, what am I uniquely good at, and doing more of that. Like,
what's your approach to like a viral like video?
I think there's like certain principles that I think about for every viral video. There's like certain things that if you see every viral video will have. For example, like the first thing is like, okay, what's the hook? So for me, it's like, okay, what's the first 2 sentences or even sentence coming out of my mouth?
To make sure that they watch the rest of the thing.
To make sure they're watching it, and it has to be engaging. If I go to Instagram and I show you any viral video on my phone, any viral video I show you is gonna have a good first line, or it's gonna have like a really good first like setting and theme. Every viral video, if you look at it, if you show me any video, I'm gonna be like, well, this is the hook of the video. This is the reason why people stayed.
And I think like the type of content you do versus like in the Web3 space, and people are listening to this and they're like, well, that doesn't really apply to me. Like it does. But like,
exactly. And I think like the fact that we're living in like a world that is increasingly becoming media first, like every company now is a media company, and this was like something that we've seen over the past couple of years. I think every single founder needs to make some kind of effort to have some form of distribution, level of distribution skills. You should have some basic awareness of how distribution works.
Right.
Everyone can crack distribution. I don't think it's like people that say it's not for me is like, well, you're looking at content that is not for you. But like there's always something you can do to better understand distribution and like content you can create to build some form of brand awareness, and that'll be useful.
All right, so just to sort of finish the whole thing off, one last piece of advice for everybody in terms of like cracking or like at least getting started, or any piece of advice you have to people who are thinking about their content strategy.
I think the hardest thing about creating content is like finding a style that's true to you. So I think the best way you move closer towards finding that style is by just experimenting. And like maybe like, honestly, maybe a style of content for you is literally going in front of a camera and then just like sharing like insights about an article you've written. It doesn't matter. The more you experiment, the more you're going to like identify things that are true to you. Like, and this is the case for products too, obviously, but like, I also think it's the case for content. Experimentation and shipping is going to be always more important than thinking about what to ship. That's my thought.
That's great advice.
Cool.
All right, there it is from the Content Master. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it.
Thank you, my guy.
All right.
I appreciate it.